Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly review. This week we went all over the place, went down, back up, rejected again on Friday, and this is now looking a lot more bearish than last week. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I'll go over them one by one, starting with yields. We have the 20-year here, and are at a potential top, but there are basically there's also the possibility that we go higher. Like we could do something like this sideways and then correct, or we could do another leg up and go all the way to like 4.8, maybe a bit lower. I think the benchmark is actually the 10-year and could potentially do another leg higher to like 4.3, 4.4, and would in sync with that also true for DXY, so for the dollar, in which this is likely going to be depending on the economic data, by the way, and I would expect we get a top somewhere in this like 30 to November 1st window. And for TLT, I've been added to TLT a few contracts here and there this week, aside from the initial position. Uh, this would translate in, again, either fake breakdown from this trend line or a move to 90. And if we get to 90, I'm going to be adding big for TLT. I'll remind you that this is the big level in which we cross into oversold territory. Uh, I think somewhere between 89 and 90 would be the bottom if we get that scenario. Of course, we could already be at the bottom and just reverse. This will likely depend on economic data. We have JOLT on Tuesday, and then we have NFP unemployment at the end of the week. So probably like Friday will be the moment where this rally in yields ends. Okay, now going back to SPY, this 5A376 is a dark pool print, and it came in around here. When it came in, we went a bit higher, but then immediately rejected and flushed hard. Now we went back, hit it again, and when we hit it again, we flushed hard. So I would say this is quite a significant level. I think it's highly unlikely that we go above it during hours without earnings. I think the only way to get above it is through a gap up. So let's say we bounce again here, we go sideways until earnings, and then when earnings do come and if they are bullish, we just gap up above it and then go higher. Uh, Bearish bias, but I'm expecting bullish first if earnings are okay. If earnings are not okay, obviously we dump horribly. Uh, and this is not the only concerning thing from a pool perspective. We have Apple, which had um, a print here at 228.20 in September. It We have another one in Microsoft at the same time, and for now we are above it. But if we go back below this level, I would expect a flush, and it's going to be a big one. We have Microsoft with a print in the same day as as Apple at 44.45.47. We went below when this printed, rejected, went lower, and now we're kind of struggling to even get back to it and got rejected once to 3 times on this trend line when trying to go higher. So I would assume Microsoft does like this is like 2% and maybe gaps up to get above it if we have good earnings on um, on Wednesday and gets to like 450 or something like that. And lastly, we have Tesla, which had this huge squeeze on earnings. but it's now in a resistance area. It seems unlikely that it can push through this. It certainly needs some consolidation. Not saying that it pulls back a lot, but just like we had this one here, do something like this and just go sideways for a while. It seems unlikely that we can push higher like directly on Monday. Uh, and aside from this, on SPX, we have 5920 as the 2 ATR level on the yearly chart. Uh, Basically, two standard deviation move on the yearly. It's more or less not unprecedented because it happened before, but it's very rare. And looking at both those SPX and SPY positioning, I think 5900 is the target with the potential for an overshoot. I would say 5920 because this is equivalent to SPY 590. So from a positioning perspective, things have offset a bit because new positioning came in, so this is now less bearish and more bullish. But given the gap up here, like you see, we have a large spike uh, in the positioning, the interest level line. This means this is a bigger resistance. So I think we can get to 5900, even 5920, which would mean 5900 on SPY, which is now the biggest level. Like 5900 became the biggest open interest level for calls among all of them. Uh, I think we're set up to push into it on a positive earnings reaction. But earnings can go both ways. We shall see. Uh, we can also do like good earnings, bad earnings. Like for example, we get good earnings from Microsoft and Meta, and then not so good earnings maybe from Apple, and that puts in a very bad candle. So I would expect that we go up, but this is going to be bearish. And how I think things will play out will be something like this. Basically, we chop. Like I said, I don't think we can go above this level intraday on Monday or Tuesday. So mostly chop with the bullish buyers on Monday, Tuesday. We have app what's Google earnings that can go either way, and AMD. Maybe they move us, maybe they don't. I would expect the big mover to be here, Microsoft and Meta, and then Amazon and Apple on Thursday. So my expectation is something like this. We gap up, we go up, and we go up. We get to this 590 level, and then we get rejected strongly and close the day red. We get a big ass red engulfing candle, maybe even go down as low as here. How big is this? 3%, maybe not that high, but like 2% is more than doable as a range. Remember, this is not going to be the day sprint because we go up and then we turn down. It's going to be, let's say, if we were to do it from here. Oh, no, no, this is fine actually, yeah. So like 125 minus on the day, but the full body of the candle will be like 3%, 2.5, 3%, something like this. So this is how I think things will play out because we're having topping in yields, topping in dollar. We have the potential for topping the market as well. And that's kind of it how I see things playing out next week. So initially bullish and then bearish. But obviously, if things are bearish first, we go down and we go down very strongly. Like we could get a 2-3% candle just from the current levels if earnings are not good. As to how low we can go, I think it's going to be 10-15%, and I'm going to be counting from 5900 or 590. 10% is, so first of all, I think we have a pit stop here, like minus 8%, and this is the first level where we could really bounce. But if we do not bounce here, I think we go all the way to here, because this would be an engulfing candle on the quarterly. Uh, this would be an engulfing candle on the monthly. So if we go, I'll delete this. First option is engulfing candle on the monthly, which would be going slightly below the September low and then bouncing. But if we get rejected here, we will go all the way to do an engulfing candle on the quarterly. Yeah, so this kind of scenario I have in mind, and the reasoning behind it. First bullish and then bearish, but it can definitely go the other way in order. And if we go the other way, it becomes more complicated because if we get first bearish and then bullish, uh, correction might get cancelled. We might go sideways a bit more. That one is a bit more messy because it creates uncertainty. A scenario in which we first get bearish and then we get bullish would probably look more like, let's say, go here and then bounce, like a retest of 565, probably something like this. This would be like bearish first and then bullish. Even the September mid, like 557. Yeah, probably more like 557 would be first bearish and then bullish. Okay, that's it for this week. Have a good one. Bye bye.